It's always great to have a Monday with Marcus Spears. Swagoo joining us now. Have you gotten out of that costume yet, man?
Yeah, man, that damn thing was hot, man.
It looked good, though.
Hey, man, I thought it was really cool. I couldn't see anything, so I saw the pictures afterwards, and I thought we nailed it.
You did. So who decided who was going to be what?
So the brain trust behind that was Mina Kimes. Her brain works better than all of ours. I don't know if you guys know she went to Yale, so she kind of like built to think of cool things, but she wanted to be the Addams family, and it was 4 of us, so we decided to do that, and it worked out so good, man. And I was like, I didn't even, like, I knew the Addams family, I knew Cousin It, but I didn't, guys, I'm 6'5", 300 plus. Like, where the hell they make all that hair at? Okay? And the fact that we pulled it off and it looked so good, I was just excited about it.
Dude, you guys look good. I mean, you could have gotten the tuxedo, but no, man, having that thing on, the hat, all the rest of it, man, you guys looked really good on NFL Live earlier today. Swagoo joining us here on the Blitz, as he does every Monday. Let's talk about those Dallas Cowboys. If the offense can play the rest of the year like what we saw yesterday, putting up the damn near 50-burger on the Chicago Bears, how much does that make them a legitimate Super Bowl contender in your mind?
It absolutely makes them one. And fellas, like, this was the difference. I know we had the Cooper Rush moment, but this is where the offense can be with Dak Prescott. High octane. Still seam routes he threw to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. Like, that's the explosion that you need out of the offense. We know, and fortunate enough to see Tony Pollard get the bulk of everything and see that he could carry it in case you didn't have Zeke. And we knew Tony was explosive. We knew what he could do with the ball in his hands. But to see him play an extended period of time, to see him be used in a variety of ways and also be explosive 1 quarter through the fourth, I thought that was the best thing that came out of this game. And as much as we look at these players and how well they played, I got to give Kellen Moore some credit. I think he matured without having Dak in this lineup the first few weeks of the season after the Tampa game, because he had to figure out ways to openings for other players.
Hey, Marcus, your phone is crapping out. I don't know if it's cutting up and all that hair from the wig or what. Did you turn funny in the room?
Hello.
Hey, there you are.
There we go.
There you are. Good.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, I was saying Kellen Moore deserves a ton of credit for his maturity while Dak was out. And now you see the benefit of Dak playing and having his ability coupled with an offense which I believe is really balanced now.
You know, Marcus, I got to ask you, because we go from a quarterback controversy to a running back controversy. I mean, it's been all the talk today. I've seen all over social media, Cowboys fans wanting Tony Pollard. And it's always the second guy that I know that gets it. But with Tony in the game yesterday, it just seemed like that offense went from a physical, hard-nosed offense to a really explosive offense. And I'm not saying get rid of Zeke. I think using both of those guys is good, but man, Tony Pollard looked good, and he just made that offense look a little faster to me.
No, he does, man. And here's the thing, like, to your point, and I'm glad you said that, both guys are needed in this scheme and how they want to do things. Tony Pollard makes this offense harder to guard than when Zeke is the game. That's the reality because of what he does, the multiplicity of what he does. And I'm going to tell y'all this too, like, when Zeke was rolling early in his career, defensive coordinators had to come in and say, how are we going to take care of Zeke early in this run game? That's Tony Pollard now. Like, I've been in defensive game planning meetings. I understand, like, how you look at certain players. And when teams are coming in from a defensive standpoint, they're pinpointing.
Marcus, turn a little bit to the right.
Hello.
There you go. Clear. Wherever you're standing right there, don't move.
I'm in New York, man. I'm in New York, so I'm in a different location.
I got you, man.
But the defenses now have to account for Tony Pollard in every way of the game, and he definitely makes this offense more dangerous than what Zeke does, because we know where Zeke is going to line up. He's going to be in the backfield. You're not going to use him in the slot. You're not going to put him in a lot of passing concepts for big chunk yardage. So I think Tony makes him more dangerous, but Zeke also makes him more physical. He's the red area guy where you want to really get in between tackles. So the multiplicity that they offer. But the reality is Tony Pollard makes this offense more explosive.
He certainly does. Now, they scored 49 points yesterday. Of course, Cowboys did get a defensive touchdown on one of the more incredible plays that you'll see from a player in Micah Parsons. And look, we had for years and years and years on the Spurs, Manu Ginobili, who night in and night out did things that you were like, wow moments from, and then you expected him. We're getting that way with Micah. Just his awareness, Justin Fields jumps over him. At first, I'm watching the game in my living room thinking, well, he's just running down to celebrate, which is what defensive players do. At what point do you think he realized there was no whistle and that was for a touchdown?
I don't think he realized it until he started, got about 20 out. Because you could see he wasn't top speed. He didn't get up like he was running to go score a touchdown. He got up like it was a celebration and then realized no whistle had been blown. Shout out to his awareness on that. And then that's when he turned it up. It was a phenomenal play, but you know what was the best thing about that play, fellas? It was him not giving up on the play.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're going to highlight, him picking up a fumble and returning it for a touchdown. He came from rushing the passer to get that fumble after the ball was knocked out. So I think when your best player is your hardest playing player, that changes the dynamic of who you are as a football team.
Well, he kind of got the itch now, it seems like, Marcus. He said he wants to play offense a little more. Wants to score touchdowns.
Well, let's not get carried away. I believe Micah can do it all on the defensive side of football. Let's keep him over there because he's our best chance as far as going deep into these playoffs and having a shot at anything.
Marcus, when you think about what the Cowboys did yesterday, and again, you win 49-29, it covers up a lot of things, but that was the most points they've given up all year, another 240 yards on the ground, and Chicago dominated time of possession. It's a big win for the Cowboys, but how concerned are you that defense just was having trouble getting off the field to a Bears offense that isn't known to light it up, if you will?
Yeah, it's concerning, man, because that run defense is really like the trends of the league now, too. Teams are running more, especially when you run up against athletic quarterbacks and guys that can do multiple things from that position, i.e. Jalen Hurts, who we're going to have to face again. They're watching that tape. They're trying to figure out, where are the weaknesses in this defense. And I know we signed Hankins to shore up a little bit of that run game, but that has to get fixed. And a part of that is the attacking style. Sometimes you're going to give up some plays in the run game, but it's just too consistent. Saw Herbert making plays. Saw Justin Fields getting out on edges. And we have an athletic run to the football defense, guys tackle in space and all of that. But some of these runs have to start getting stopped at the line of scrimmage, give up 2 yards potentially, and then create some negative plays on first down so you force teams into passing situations. That's the next step for me for this defense. We know we can turn the football over. We know we got guys that can rush the passer, but we got to get this run game taken care of. It's if we are going to have a shot at real longevity when it comes playoff time.
Boy, and you look at it too, Marcus, with what the 49ers have done with Christian McCaffrey now, that makes them that much more dangerous for sure. And he looked fantastic yesterday, by the way. Seems like he's fitting in very well with the 49ers. But you're right. That really seems to be an area where the Cowboys, if they have any opportunity at all to get through the playoffs and to the Super Bowl, man, that run defense is really concerning.
Yeah, because ultimately, everybody looks at it in context. And I'm glad you brought up. Everybody looks at it in context of stopping the run, but you're also keeping the ball out of an explosive offense's hands when you don't get off the field and when you can't get the run stop. And more teams start to figure out things when you are not stopping the run as the game goes along. So, example, offense.
Did we lose Marcus? It went.
Hello?
Oh, there you are.
He is.
All right, good. Good. It just went quiet. Went from garbly to quiet there for a moment, man.
Yeah. So I was talking time of possession.
Yeah.
And how we should get when they are able to hold the ball. Then play action opens up. Screen game opens up. You see QB runs with these athletic guys. So it's going to be important for them to first down, guys. Pay attention to everybody that's listening to excited about third down and pass rushes. You have to earn the right to do.
Man, that was
everybody fears Dallas.
Marcus, you said listen up, and then we didn't hear anything right after that, man. I don't know if he's gone or not, but try to reconnect, maybe get him on a hard line, something, because it just got from bad to worse there for a moment. Edwin, if you're able to reconnect with Marcus and it gets cleared up, let us know. But I mean, we try, but it happens. He said he was in New York, which, some of those office buildings in New York, if you've been up there,
tough. Yeah,
the cell service just sucks. You would think in New York they had to have it all figured out.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is what it is. I love talking with Marcus. That's the thing about it. That obviously he's pulling for the Cowboys, but he's concerned, just like all of us, with that run defense. He was a good run stopper, so he knows what it takes to do that. And he agrees with me on Tony Pollard, so everything's great.
Well, I don't know about all that. Let's see. Let's reconnect with Marcus Spears, former Cowboys first-round draft pick, all over ESPN, hopefully with a clear signal.
I'm back, guys.
All right, good. So you were saying before it just all completely went to hell. Now listen up here, guys. And then I didn't hear anything after that.
Okay. So what I was saying was about pay attention to this defense on first down, right? Like, we all comfortable with Dallas defensively and how they rush the passer, how they can get after him, Dan Quinn dialing up pressures and really putting pressure on offenses on third down. First down is where you earn those opportunities. And a lot to do with the run game. That has a lot to do with at the line of scrimmage, making sure you put offenses in a different vein and not allow them to stay on schedule. Because this defense in Dallas, if they get you off schedule, it's the most devastating defense in the league.
I got to ask, Marcus, when you think about the way defenses are, or the way officials are calling defenses, you look at the one play that made it somewhat close yesterday. There's an interception by Diggs, but a roughing the passer on a little love tap, if you will. And now there's some where you look at them now and you go, all right, yeah, that's obvious because they're calling it that way. How do you play defense? And when you're talking around with the other NFL guys up there at the ESPN studios, I mean, how the hell do you play defense in today's NFL?
Yeah, man, it's a guessing game sometimes. But the one thing, guys, and I tell everybody to start from this base foundation because we have a lot of conversations with referees. I'm fortunate enough to know a lot of people in the league office. If you're around the head neck area of a quarterback, it's going to get called. It don't matter how hard you hit them. You could tap them. It's going to get called if you're around the top head neck area. So I think for fans out there, it's like, but he didn't even hit him hard. He barely touched him. Any contact, any incidental or unincidental contact from the neck and head area is going to be called unnecessary roughness. Now, some of these other calls, like we argue. I go tooth and nail. I fight. I be like, yo, this is not like the Grady Jarrett on Tom Brady when they say he slammed them to the ground. Those kind of calls are the ones that put really defenders in a tough situation, man. We've always contested too, like when you going up to make a tackle and the offensive player lowers his head, what are we supposed to do? Like, are we supposed to just give him our chest, or should we try to get down further and gain leverage? And that's something they can't answer, but that's all a part of the protection of defensive players as well. So as much as we argue it, and I look at calls and I think some are as egregious as others, that they firm on that and they not changing, man. Unfortunately, some of them.
All right, Marcus, you brought up Tom Brady, and it was sad to watch Thursday night, Brady and the Bucs. I mean, they're really struggling. Then you watch Aaron Rodgers yesterday. Are these two guys, and I hate to even ask this question because it makes me sad, are they done?
I think Brady is done. I still think he can make throws. I think Brady can be a part of a winning team, but he's not going to elevate anymore like he used to do. As far as Aaron, I think Aaron is just in a bad situation from an offensive standpoint. He has no weapons. And that's not to slight these guys, but they aren't proven yet. They still trying to figure out who their number one receiver is. And when you got Super Bowl aspirations, you need to have all of those questions answered. The offensive line went from really good to bad this year. Like, so it's a lot of things that's a part of these guys. I still think at times they can lift you, but the consistency of lifting you above, let's say, a Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or the better teams in the league. I just don't think they have that ability anymore. And I know, like you said, it's always tough to say that. I mean, we know Brady and we regard him as the greatest of all time. And we have Aaron Rodgers as one of the greatest talents at the quarterback position of all times in the league. But Father Time is going to get us all. And I think for Brady, Father Time has gotten them in regards to how much he can lift deficiencies of a football team. And I think in Aaron's case, man, like, I think he's playing with guys that he doesn't know. And they don't have any type of rapport. And from an offensive standpoint, they're not explosive. And in this league, when you can run the football and you can be explosive, you probably don't have a chance to make the playoffs. I'm afraid that the Green Bay Packers aren't going to even make the playoffs. And they're paying their quarterback $50 million.
It's crazy. What did you make of him going on the Pat McAfee show and essentially calling out his teammates and talking about how some of them deserve fewer reps since they weren't getting the job done?
Yeah, well, if anybody know me, I'm not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan. But I also think it's just wrong in totality for you to make it public. Look, man, we have hard conversations in the locker room. We have hard conversations around the facility. But for that to be publicly, and that's a platform on Pat McAfee that he's comfortable. Those are his guys, and he has in-depth conversations. I just think from a team dynamic standpoint, especially when you're trying to implement young wide receivers and build confidence. And look, this is what I said. I said Aaron Rodgers is not wrong for wanting guys to be accountable for knowing what they're doing. And it's not what he said, it's where he said it. And that's the problem, man. Like, when you go public and you say something like that, and you making $50 million a year, and you got guys that have fought for roster spots to be a part of the team, you got guys that's trying to learn on the fly, and you didn't spend an offseason building a rapport with them, they kind of will look at you sideways. The problem is they can't say nothing because you're Aaron Rodgers, and to that franchise, you just another guy that we can replace. So it creates a bad dynamic. And you know, you could fake like you like a guy and really not like him, and we could think that doesn't bother with how you play and how you perform, but it absolutely does. I think team chemistry is off in Green Bay.
It's going to be interesting, and I certainly am not going to be sad when they don't make the playoffs. Marcus, before we let you go, as we visit with Marcus Spears here on the Blitz, what does ESPN up there in Bristol give you guys for the Employee of the Week? Because, man, Dan Orlovsky yesterday in London calling that game, flies back from London, and he's on TV all day. I mean, is this guy sucking up to the boss for that free parking spot? What's the Employee of the Week get?
He earning that damn paycheck. hey, cry me a river. I told him this morning. I told him when he got back from London, I said, cry me a river. Get your butt, I said another word, into the studio. But nah, man, between him and Laura, bro, they work so hard, man. And they do college football as well. I think a lot of people don't even so it's a 7-day-a-week event every week for them. But to come back from London and do the work that he's been doing. But for Dan and Laura, man, it says a lot about how much it matters to them. And I'm not trying to be like, you know, hyperbole, and they're my teammates. I love them as people more than what we do on camera. But, dude, as far as hard work, they are no strangers to it. They didn't complain one time. I'm sure they tired. I'm sure they about to go crash. But ultimately, man, we do what we got to do.
Absolutely. And he's getting it done. I've been to the campus there. I figure, you know, he likes that parking spot close to the door with the snow coming, you know.
Yeah.
I'll
never acknowledge him being the Employee of the Month.
There you go.
It's a great show.
Swagoo, always appreciate it. Marcus Spears, as he joins us every Monday on the Blitz. Always great stuff.